Hello, this is Reverend Derek of www.reverendderek.com, and I greet you this month of February 2014. First, to say thank you for everyone who has been participating in my Forgiveness February work in Cincinnati and in Louisville, and also online. I am so grateful to receive so much feedback from people that really are working through the process of forgiving. A lot of people have reached out to me on Facebook, on Twitter, and even on Instagram, asking, how do I forgive myself? That seems to be the number one problem that so many of us are dealing with, is how to forgive ourselves for the stuff that we've done, not only to ourselves, but to the people, places, things that we love in our lives. And so, for those who weren't able to participate in the webinar or who haven't been following the forgiveness work, I want to give you three simple tips when you're actually doing the forgiveness work. In your journal, I think everyone should have a journal. A journal really does help us to process our thoughts, our feelings, our reactions. And in your journal, the first thing you do is you list the incidents, or you list the wounds or the hurts that you need to forgive yourself for. And you use very specific language. It is very important that you use the correct language. And so perhaps you need to forgive yourself for a financial loss or some financial issues. Let's say you lost your house or your car was repossessed. You list, I created a wound in my life, or I lost my house, and that created a wound in my life. And then after that, list all those things. I did this, and that created a wound. Don't say, I did this, and now I'm wounded. You don't want to take that on. The word am, it's a form of the verb to be. And you don't want to take that on. Language is very important. So you don't want to state that your entire existence is in a wounded state. So it creates a wound. Wounds are something that we can heal. And so you list all those out. That's the first step. Then the second thing you do is you go back and you write down how you felt with that particular wound. And so if you lost your house, that created a wound. The incident was you messed your money up for whatever reason that it was. And then you go back, and that made me feel whatever it made you feel. If you lose your house because of poor financial choices, it made me feel dumb. It made me feel useless. It made me feel like a bad mom or a bad dad. It made me feel, all those type of things, all those feelings. Because that's what we have to deal with. We have to deal with the feelings. We have to deal with the emotions. Unfortunately, what most of us deal with when we're going through forgiveness is we only focus on the incident, and we rehash the incident, or we rehash the drama, whether it's somebody else did something to us or we did something to ourselves. We just go through and go through and go through. But what I want you to understand is, if the incident is not your healing, the incident, the story, the drama, that is not where healing takes place. That's where you just keep beating up on yourself over and over again. The healing takes place in the feelings, because what happens is you have to forgive yourself for that one incident, carrying all those feelings around. So if it's that you lost your house and you called yourself dumb, you called yourself stupid, you called yourself lazy, you called yourself a burden, a bad father, a bad mother, that's what you're carrying around. You're carrying in your heart, but more than anything, you're also carrying a physical weight because of that emotional weight. And everything that you do from that point of unforgiveness is tainted or stained with that energy that you have in your heart that you're carrying around. Why? Because energy is not lost nor destroyed. It is passed or transferred from one object to the next. And that's why we want to forgive, because we want that energy to be out of us. We want it to stop having that same impact on us. So after you list your wounds, and after you list the feelings associated with those wounds, then you have to use very specific language in your journal in order to help you to heal from that. And I like to use the until today and starting today language. And I like that because I have some cards that came from Dr. Iyanla Vanzant that she published several years ago, and that's what she says. It was called Until Today. And so what you think about is, up until this point, I've beat up on myself for gaining weight. I've beat up on myself for poor financial choices. I beat up on myself for whatever wrongs I've done, cheating, for not being the best parent, for the drug abuse, the alcohol, whatever it is. Until today, I called myself stupid. I called myself worthless. I called myself dumb. I called myself a burden. I called myself a problem. I called myself all these things. But starting today, I forgive myself for calling myself all those things. And I choose to walk in healing. And I choose to make better choices. And I choose today to be a better parent. And I choose today to no longer allow my past to infiltrate and attack my future. And so that's what you do. That's the process. Now, is that an easy thing? Lord, no. Is it a simple thing? Absolutely not. But what it is it's a process. Forgiveness is a process. And you start that in your journal. And so when you're forgiving yourself and you write that down, every time you go to call yourself stupid, every time you go to call yourself fat, every time you go to call or you go to beat up on yourself, you remember, wait a minute, I did the work. And until today, that's what I did. But now I don't do that anymore. I forgive myself. I'm speaking positively into my situation and into my life because the universe responds to our dominant thoughts. And so, if we constantly plant those negative seeds in our hearts and our minds with our words and our atmosphere, in those things around us, then that's what we're going to reap. We don't plant a apple seed and expect an orange tree to grow. No, what we plant, we reap. And so if you want more positivity to come towards you, then you have to plant more positivity into your life and into those things around you. And so I pray for you on your forgiveness journey. If there's ever anything that I can do, any questions that you have, any feedback that you need, anything that you're stuck on, feel free to hit me up on the website, www.reverendderek.com. Thank you so much again, and you take care. God bless. Love you.